NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, good morning, everybody. We have got a lot to talk about, actually, in this edition of Beyond the Forecast. Near record warmth today, and perhaps tomorrow some severe thunderstorms. Now, I'm not totally on board with the severe threat tomorrow, but having said that, I am starting to see an increase in the potential for damaging wind gusts and even some tornadoes tomorrow. And while certainly, I think to absolutely say there will be tornadoes tomorrow is sort of a bit of a fool's errand. We look for signals. We look for signs. We look for equations in the atmosphere that dictate, are the conditions ripe enough for some severe wind gusts and or tornadoes to develop? And we are seeing some signs that it is possible here tomorrow afternoon and evening. So it's something that we're going to be talking about today. In the meantime, we have got another nice one. Yesterday we reached 71 degrees. We forecasted 68. We got above that. It was a 40-degree swing at the airport. We started at 31 yesterday morning. It was chilly. We got below freezing, and we made it all the way to 71 degrees yesterday afternoon. Other than a dirty camera lens here filled with spider webs, Anvil looks just fine again this morning, and we could be challenging a record. The record high was set in 2016, 10 years ago, of 79 degrees, and we're going to be close today. I don't think we'll do it, but I think we will be close. Showers and storms then tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that threat. We're really going to dig deep into that here on Beyond the Forecast, and then a windy Thursday on the way too behind the front. So there will be a few more clouds today, as you can see here in Camp Hill. Some upper-level cirrus clouds, some cumulus clouds. We don't anticipate, though, that these clouds are going to slow down the warmth. I mean, I think it's going to be the warmest day we've had here all year up to this point, and I think it's going to be breezy at times this afternoon, ushering in that warmth. But there will be a few more clouds today than yesterday. We had high pressure right on top of us, and it produced a brilliant blue sky and a day that was worth framing, a 10 out of 10 day. And so now we can see here on the satellite and radar, we still have mainly clear skies, but there will be some clouds around. And once again, the valley is chilly here, the Susquehanna Valley. I mean, look at some of these numbers, right? Lebanon, it's in the 30s, 39 degrees. Look at York. They went from 36 overnight, now down to 35. And so you still need the light jacket here. Meanwhile, how about Pittsburgh? Near 60 this morning. Johnstown at 56, Du Bois at 57. It's warm in the west, and that warm air will eventually infiltrate. In fact, it's 20 degrees warmer now in Pittsburgh than it was yesterday morning. And here, closer to home, in the Susquehanna Valley, we have temperatures that are about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday morning. So we're moving in the right direction. I think today we're going to really warm things up despite a few extra clouds. We are talking about temperatures in the upper 70s. That's pretty toasty. We get a bit of a breeze from the south-southwest today, and then a mild night on the way with temperatures in the 50s. So where's this piece of energy coming from that has the potential to give us some severe weather? Well, remember, we track water vapor because it shows us the motions of the atmosphere. And right now, we're sitting here. The darker the color, that indicates drier air. We still have a lot of dry air in place today, but there's enough forcing here where this red arrow is. Now it's diving to the south even more than when I drew this, but you can see this little chunk of energy right here. This is the cold front, and that is going to be headed our way tomorrow later in the day, and really stalling out into Thursday morning. But out ahead of it, it's possible the atmosphere is pretty ripe for some severe thunderstorms. I think there's a better chance of severe weather out in Pittsburgh than here, but this is the boundary we are watching. I'll draw it right here on the map right here. And it doesn't look like much now, but what's going to happen is this will swing kind of down across the middle part of the country and then swing over to the east. And as that front moves through tomorrow, it's going to give us the opportunity to see some severe weather, because look at behind it here. Typically when we see fronts this time of year, and when they produce severe weather, there's a big temperature gradient, and we have that. I mean, it's cold again in the northern plains. Meanwhile, out ahead of it in this area here, temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. Harrisburg's the exception because we still have colder air draining east of the Appalachians. But look at this warm air that's going to be surging in here over the next couple of days, and that does include tomorrow. Today will be the warmest day, but we're still going to be in the 70s tomorrow, and because of that, we expect some severe weather potential here across the state. But highs today getting into the mid to upper 70s. It is going to be a very warm afternoon, and we're going to stay mild tonight. Lows in the 50s, and then temperatures will climb into the low 70s again tomorrow, despite cloud cover and some showers early in the day. And that could be the limiting factor with our severe weather tomorrow. Watch what happens. Still plenty of sun today, high, thin clouds at times overhead. As we look now, by the way, I do want to point this out. I think there's a very low chance of this happening, but Precision Cast is a high-resolution model. It tends to pick up on some things, and over the mountains later, there could be a shower or two popping up this evening. So the western ridges may see a shower this evening. I am not going to necessarily call for it or make a big deal out of it, but just know that the chance is there. Then as we look ahead into tomorrow, here's the deal. I think by the time most of us wake up, it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be damp, some light showers in the morning. If there's anything that can stifle a severe weather day, it's early morning stability. Clouds, showers. If this happens, the odds of us getting severe weather are rather low. But the models still do indicate there will be pockets of showers and storms throughout the afternoon. And each one of these little cells that wants to develop could have or could contain some lightning or some damaging wind gusts. And as they move farther to the east, they also have the potential to, become severe. Right now, I'm not overly worked up about it, but we're going to take you through a model discussion coming up because I do think that there are some signs that tomorrow could be an active afternoon here in terms of severe weather. The rain is going to continue overnight into Thursday morning. This is a front that's going to stall. You'll notice it stays cloudy now into Thursday afternoon. It's going to be cooler, temperatures in the 40s, and it's also going to be breezy. So notice tomorrow the severe weather threat ahead of this front extends all the way from Texas and Louisiana up into the Tennessee Valley and then over into most of Pennsylvania. And this does now include our area. Storm Prediction Center did not include us yesterday. They have expanded it to include all of our counties here as of today. Heavy rain, damaging winds, the primary threat, damaging straight-line winds. But I should add, and probably could add, that there is a small risk for tornadoes tomorrow as well, given the environmental conditions. So when we look at the rainfall here, the rainfall's not that impressive. It could briefly be heavy, and that's why that's always a threat, reducing visibility. But in terms of the total rain, I think about a quarter to a half inch. I'm not impressed with the rain from this. Still, we need it. It's going to be good rain. I'm more concerned about the severe weather threat. So it's not going to be a breezy day today necessarily, but wind speeds of about 10 to 15 this afternoon, and then a little bit of a breeze ahead of the front tomorrow, and then it turns gusty. Remember, this is a front that's ushering in a huge change. Temperatures in the 70s out ahead of it, and then we're going to fall into the 40s behind it. So it's going to be a gusty day on Thursday because of that change. And then I think the second half of March looks cool again. It's going to be seasonable this weekend with temperatures around 50, but next week, behind Monday's front, there's another front on Monday. Temperatures will likely be in the 40s, 50s. So we're not going to just live in the 60s and 70s, right? We had a taste of it, but ultimately now I think that we are going to see that change as we move into the second half of the month. Look at this. I mean, 77 Tuesday, partly cloudy, scattered showers and storms Wednesday. And again, we're going to go through a model discussion here. Morning rain Thursday and some gusty winds with temperatures only in the 40s. And we are going to be cooler here through Saturday. It'll be seasonable, but cool. Breezy on Friday. Another breezy day Sunday out ahead of a front that will move through on Monday with a few scattered showers. So, again, I want to focus now on the threat tomorrow of severe weather because, listen, I don't think with the morning clouds and the showers that we have much to worry about. That being said, I don't think it's a zero chance, right? I think there is a non-zero chance that we do have some feisty thunderstorms in the afternoon. This also shows, by the way, this is the HRRR model. This also shows this little chance of what we call a ridge runner happening this evening. So if you live west of the Susquehanna, just be aware there could be a passing shower this evening. Not something I hyped up on the 7-day, but it is there, and I want to point that out. As we can see tomorrow, again, I think there will be some showers. This shows some storm activity kind of bulging up during the day. Look at this. Dauphin, Lebanon, York, Lancaster by the afternoon, some showers and some storms, and another round that looks a little feisty here by the evening. So what the models are telling me is that tomorrow's going to be cloudy and gray with occasional showers and storms, and then there's, overnight into Thursday. The front is still not through here. So that's why we think it's going to linger. But when we look at just the simulated radar here, there are some of these individual cells, and I'm pointing these out, that have my attention. So the next thing that I want to do is come down to our severe weather parameters, and I want to look at our shear, because shear is the change in winds from 0 to 6 kilometers, and this blows up some shear over the region here tomorrow afternoon. These are some pretty good shear numbers. That's kind of indicative of the twist in the atmosphere. When we go to our supercell composites, anything usually above 1 or 2 gets my attention. This actually has us blowing up into the 8, 9, 10 range. So this is not something that we typically see here. Now, this is one model, but again, this has my eyes open for the potential here of some supercellular activity tomorrow. And then finally, the significant tornado parameter. Again, anything over 1 locally gets my attention, and all of a sudden this model blows us up to 3s and 4s here. So that's pretty high for our area. So what does that mean, and why am I discussing it? Well, it doesn't mean that we are going to get tornadoes tomorrow. But what it does mean is that the environment is showing signs that tornadoes are certainly possible tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening if all the ingredients come together. It's sort of like a snowstorm, right? Where, a few days out, perhaps the models are showing we get 6 to 12 inches, but in reality, we're only going to get 3 to 6 inches because of many factors. Well, this is sort of like that. The models are giving us a signal that tomorrow afternoon and evening could be ripe for producing the type of thunderstorms that have rotation and that could put a tornado or 2 down. That being said, again, with the morning stability, is it going to be enough? Let's go to a different model, and we'll go to a model that is also a high-res model that wants to replace the HER here. Hasn't done it yet. This is an experimental model. This shows the SIG-TOR parameter tomorrow, much more realistic to me. 1s, maybe getting close to 2s. This is still high, but it's there, and the potential does exist. So it is something that we want to monitor going into the day tomorrow, and especially tomorrow afternoon. Personally, again, I want to continue to see this in the models if I start to really talk about the potential, because I just think we've seen it so many times here where if we get early morning clouds and showers the rest of the day, there is simply not enough energy for severe weather to develop. Not to say we can't have some thunderstorms. I think we will. Not to say that some of those storms could not contain damaging wind gusts. Excuse me. I think they definitely could tomorrow. But in order for there to be some tornadoes that would be warning worthy, I kind of want to see a little bit more, and I'm not totally there just yet. That being said, it has my attention, and that's why we're talking about it here. So just be prepared for tomorrow. The potential of severe weather exists. We will continue to monitor it and keep you posted. On that note, enjoy today. It's going to be warm, should be mainly dry other than an evening shower over the western counties. Most of us will be just fine today. Temperatures will be approaching that record high of 79 degrees, and then tomorrow we'll keep you posted on any severe weather that could develop. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy the warmth. For Beyond the Forecast, I'm meteorologist Brett Thackara.